Time Machine, the 1-hour comedy show by Phoebe Roberts and Bernie Gabin. Episode 3, Change or Die. Scene 1, Pull. Interior Ryan's bedroom, early morning. The chic modern master bedroom in Ryan Dresden's LA home is dark and still, curtains drawn against the morning sunlight. The bed, just a little rumpled, is empty. A smartphone plugged into the bedside table displays the time, 5:59 a.m. As it ticks over to 6, the alarm goes off. An arm comes from off-screen to snatch it. Interior, Ryan's house, continuous. Ryan is already up and going. He's a juggernaut of productivity. He returns calls and makes plans on his earpiece as he briskly goes about his morning. He loads up a blender with ingredients for a protein shake.
Oh, sure. Send over the contracts. I could use a laugh.
He gets to work on a complex setup of laptops, screens, and tablets, checking the news and returning emails without missing a conversational beat.
Yeah, we're not casting yet, but never hurts to grab screen tests, so set it up for today.
In his home gym, he runs on the elliptical and throws around the free weights, a serious workout for a man of his age. He talks between presses of a respectably stacked barbell.
What type? Oh, pretty enough to like, not pretty enough to hate.
He maxes out and re-racks the weights with a satisfied grunt.
Thanks, Charlie. I owe you one.
He sits up and starts up another call.
Hey, Lori, give me your best shot. I could use a hard one.
Exterior, front yard, morning. Towel tossed around his neck, Ryan strolls outside to his front yard, expansive and handsomely landscaped, as he finishes up the call.
So, author's been in touch? Perfect. We'll just take a meeting with her, get the last few details hammered out. Don't worry. She won't be the first one I've charmed. Later, babe.
He hangs up, surveying his empire and his perfectly manicured lawn with satisfaction. Then spies an errant dandelion poking up in the grass. He frowns, bends to pick it, and his whole body seizes up as his back gives out.
Scene 2. Pinch. Interior, Ryan's living room. Morning. Arms loaded, Ryan's assistant, Jeremy, lets himself in through the front door with a key.
All right, so we've got the scripts from Avery Production, we've got the budget projections from the reality division, and your Friday special. 1 sugar, 2 creams.
Put a straw in that thing, will you?
Pan down to reveal Ryan lying flat on the floor, legs up on the coffee table, teeth set against the back pane. Jeremy passes down the coffee cup with straw.
You okay down there, boss?
Where, in hell? Yeah, it's great. Nothing a handful of horse tranks won't fix.
You lost your Vicodin privileges for a reason, sir.
Fine. I'll settle for Percocet.
And there's the reason. Here.
Jeremy tosses him a Tylenol bottle. Ryan catches it and attempts to read the instructions on the side.
Whoa, the hard stuff. How do people live like this?
Doses 2, 3 in a pinch.
What about a vice grip? How many then?
He holds it out as high as he can above him, squinting.
You got reading glasses somewhere?
Bite your tongue. All I need is slightly longer arm. Here, take this to the other side of the room.
It's no big deal. This is just what happens when you get...
What? Handsomer?
That too.
Finish that sentence. I'll tell Lucchese what gym you go to.
Oh, come on! I'm already starting to check the back seat of my car.
Ryan rolls over to stand himself up. Jeremy rushes over.
Whoa. You need a hand there?
Thanks, Jer, but I bench 170 and have souvenirs from no fewer than 7 Victoria's Secret angels. I'm not an old man yet.
With an athletic heave, Ryan springs back up to his feet. He straightens and slaps Jeremy's forearm companionably. There's an ominous twang, and he freezes, clamping down on Jeremy's arm. Exterior, front yard, day. Jeremy emerges from the front door, Ryan clinging to him, piggyback. Assistant carries boss to the car.
Tell no one.
Roger that.
Scene 3, source material. Interior Pamplemousse Green Room, day. Meredith, Derek, and Josie are hanging out as Leah gets ready behind the dressing screen. Josie has a copy of the first Offcomer novel and is leafing through it skeptically.
What level of shapewear do you guys think this calls for? Victorian consumptive or tactical assault midriff?
Couldn't she do that at home?
Yeah, but then she couldn't have bullied the hair and makeup people into doing her up.
Oh, they love it. I'm a canvas to them. Besides, this is important. We're meeting with Priscilla DeMarco, the author of the books we're adapting for the new show.
She's interested, but we still need to get her to sign over creative control.
So I have to make a good impression. I mean, it's romantic fantasy. Would you trust your fantasies to an Uggo?
Right. Meredith?
Ryan and I are going with her. If we're lucky, she'll decide she's too pretty to talk.
Oh, thank God. Because I know you're a fan of these, but they're gonna need some work.
What do you mean, work?
Haven't you taken a look yet?
Thought I'd save that for the honeymoon. Let me see.
Josie, looking uncomfortable, opens the book to a certain section and hands it over.
I mean, sure, they're a little over the top, but it's a romantic adventure.
With a low whistle, he shows Meredith the section Josie showed him. Josie blushes.
No kidding. Adventurous is one word for this kind of romance.
My contract only lets me do that kind of thing twice a season.
There's no way we can show all that on basic cable.
Depends how much the woman is enjoying herself. Maybe we can get away with it if she pays for it in suffering.
Derek flips through, grimacing.
Yeah, lucky for us. Looks like that's not going to be a problem.
Yeah, the sexual politics are a little dated, which is one of the reasons we have to get the rights to change things.
You sure the author's going to go for that? Creators that big tend to throw their weight around.
Well, that's our problem. Your problem is figuring out how to build a colonial Europe on a medieval times budget.
On second thought, can we just keep all the sex in? Naked people are really cheap to film.
I'm not cheap.
This is Dream Machine. You will be.
Scene 4. Youths. Interior, Pamplemousse Studios. Day. Ryan comes out of the elevator to meet Jeremy, where he waits in the hall.
Holding up okay?
Let's not speak of it. Legal papers are all drawn up. Just need to get the author to sign.
Think you can convince her?
This ain't my first IP rodeo. Little tip if you're going to survive in this business, Jeremy. You live and die on your friendships.
But I thought you torched all yours in your drug days.
Yeah, why do you think I ended up here? But it's like riding a bike.
Behind them, the elevator opens again, and a casting assistant leads in a trio of young actresses.
Watch and learn.
Ryan straightens his tie and ambles over to Gladhand.
Morning, ladies. You must be here for screen tests. I just wanted to wish you good luck, and then I'll be rooting for you all to join us on Dream Team.
That's so nice of you. And who are you here?
At the moment, I'm handling programming, but I'm planning on leveraging my relationships with Big Bear Pictures and Hyperion in the feature space.
Oh, I meant, what's your name?
Ryan's smile falters.
I'm Ryan Dresden, you know, from the Oscars.
Aw, my two dads have the same name too. They're both David.
3, actually, Academy Awards. You know, The Devil in the Deep, Rowan's Hope.
Ryan is gratified to see the third girl light up with fanish recognition.
Oh my God, Rowan's Hope? I've seen that 100 times. Do you think I can have your autograph?
It'd be my pleasure.
She hands over a paper for him to sign.
Could you make it out to my mom, Linda? She's such a big fan.
Ryan's signature sputters with his twitch.
Sure.
She is going to be the envy of her quilting circle.
Ryan stands stock still as the casting assistant herds them down the hall. Jeremy appears at his shoulder.
In fairness, my mom really likes Rowan's Hope too.
And she had you when she was 7, right?
Ryan heads down the hall at the fastest hobble he can manage.
Boss, where are you going?
Bring the car around. Got one more stop to make.
Scene 5, Tall Order. Interior, Pamplemousse Green Room, day. At last, Leah emerges from behind the screen, now done up for polite company in her preferred high-polished style, teetering on impossibly high heels.
Wow, look at you, Lucchese. You got a knack.
There's more where that came from.
More knack?
Take note, when you're looking to impress, they eat with their eyes first.
She turns to Meredith and looks her up and down.
Is that what you're wearing?
You're asking this now?
It's fine. I guess one of us should look like somebody who actually reads her books.
They are cut off by Ryan bursting suddenly into the green room, looking distinctly piqued.
You're here? I thought you were meeting us at Priscilla DeMarco's house.
Yeah, had some business to take care of. It'll just take a sec.
He grabs hold of Leah and drags her outside.
Wait, these shoes are not for looking, not for walking!
Interior, Pamplemousse hallway, continuous. Leah totters, trying to balance on her ridiculous heels as Ryan faces her in the hallway.
What's going on?
Nothing, just, when you call me Dad, that's a kink thing, right?
What? No.
Then it's just because you're angry that you're attracted to me, right?
It's not only that. What's up with you?
Nothing. I'll, see you at the meeting.
He hurries off as Leah's eyes narrow.
Fine. I'll just find somebody else to carry me to the car. Meredith, come get me!
Interior, Pamplemousse Green Room, continuous. As Meredith sighs and goes to collect Leah, Josie turns to Derek in concern.
What was that about the budget? I thought we could reuse stuff from Westchesterham.
That'll help, but we can't guarantee that community theater will let us raid their garbage again.
Oh, Derek, the show has to work. If it doesn't, then I'm back to 18-hour days on soap operas playing my own conjoined twin.
And I'll have to figure out how to light celebrity meat auction with all the glare from the body oil.
Both stare into the middle distance as they envision their own personal hells.
Right. If we're going to pull this off, I'm going to need to put together the right team.
Can I help?
I'm not sure it's a good idea. It's been a long time since we've had an official technical director. The departments have gotten a little feral. I don't know how they'll take to an outsider.
Please. I've been around techies before, and I'd really like to be doing something other than try to get through those books again.
All right, fine. I'll yell if they try to drop a sandbag on you.
Scene 6. Priscilla. Exterior Priscilla's courtyard. Day. Having parked their car on the street, Meredith and Leah walk up the path towards the sprawling, elegant house of Priscilla DeMarco.
For the last time, I'm not carrying you.
Oh, if you just pull me in the wagon, we wouldn't be having this fight. Now, where the hell's Ryan?
At this moment, a sleek black Mercedes S-Class pulls up. Ryan climbs out of the car and limps over to them. In a slim-cut suit, just a little too small for him, a bit too much bronzer on his face.
All right, let's do this.
What's with you? Got a shareholder meeting on the Jersey Shore?
Save it, Meredith.
Oh, now you can see me.
Don't flatter yourself. It's a process of elimination. I still couldn't pick you out of a lineup.
Christ, what is with you today?
Back injury, okay? And the willow bark I'm allowed to chew isn't cutting it. Can we get on with this?
Okay, then just don't talk to Ms. DeMarco like that.
Don't fangirl out now.
Hey, she's a big deal in the romance community.
And judging by this place, clearly not hurting for money.
A successful writer who's used to getting her own way? Yeah, we're screwed. What does she need us for?
She doesn't even have to leave her house. That's where you want to be in 30 years. Looks like you got your time travel.
Wait, 30 years? What?
Yeah, she's in her 60s now. Why?
You didn't mention it. I didn't prepare.
Oh, there she is in the window.
I don't see her. Just a coat rack covered in scarves?
Oh, Lord. Is the coat rack moving?
Jesus, go time, go time.
Don't worry. I'll do the talking.
The front door opens as they approach. A tiny, yappy Pomeranian scrambles out past the flurry of drapey fabric and chunky statement jewelry that is Priscilla DeMarco. The three put on their game faces. Smooth, ingratiating, professional.
Miss DeMarco, a pleasure to finally meet you. We're here from Dream Machine.
Priscilla looks him all the way up and all the way down.
My goodness. When I heard the network was wooing me, I should have known they'd send a handsome swain to do it.
Ryan freezes, a deer in the headlights of a fast-approaching sexagenarian. Leah's own smile falters, her eyes dark, paralyzed, waiting for him to recover. It looks like it's up to Meredith. She breathes deep.
I read all your books in middle school.
A fan! How nice. Perhaps we better talk inside.
I learned so many grown-up words.
Leah's smile grows manic as Priscilla shows them inside.
Scene 7. Crew. Interior Pamplemousse, lower levels, day. Derek leads Josie down to the bowels of the studio, down winding staircases through basements, beneath sound stages, offices, and storage areas. As they descend, the lights grow dimmer and lonelier, casting ominous shadows across the rooms.
I've never been down here before.
Few of your kind ever have. Gird yourself.
They reach a door at the very bottom landing with "Staff Only" stenciled on in harsh red letters. Derek pushes forward. Interior, basement corridor, continuous. Josie clings close to Derek as he produces a flashlight, heavy enough to club an ox, from the limitless pockets of his cargo pants. He leads them down a dim industrial hallway, crowded with vent shafts and wheezing jets of air. After a moment, Derek halts, stopping Josie in her tracks as he scans the pipe-laced ceiling. Returning his focus to the floor, the light picks out a mesh of crisscrossed painted lines in different colors extending 20 feet down the hall. Each path is labeled with arcane writing: ACXH, CWR, MP19, etc.
Follow my steps exactly.
Derek carefully picks his way along the paths as Josie follows a step behind, eyes large as a burst of steam jetting down from the overhead pipes causes her to jump. Moments before her foot strays from the path, Derek's hand snaps out, pulling her to safety on the other side.
How did you know?
Secrets of the tribe. We're close.
At the end of the hall is one final door, with a single red light bulb flickering in the fixture above it. The old, worn-off letters read, "Boiler Room," but scrawled in thick black marker are the words, "Abandon all hope, ye who enter here." Derek uses the butt of his flashlight to rap out a specific rhythm on the metal door. A moment passes, then another. Finally, a slot in the door slides open, and a voice rasps.
Word.
Schoonmaker sent me.
The door creaks open. They enter. Interior boiler room, continuous. Josie and Derek step into a different world. The cavernous, decommissioned boiler room is a riot of activity. The walls are lined with the comfiest furniture harvested from 100 past productions. The lighting is a kaleidoscope array of obsolescent equipment and used gels. To one side, sound technicians play strange electronic music from a cluster of old tube amps, and fantastically garbed costumers serve drinks from behind a stolen craft service table. In the back, a gang of production technicians from every department crowd in a ring together. They cheer and jostle while watching some spectacle blocked from view. Derek attempts to step around the door guardian, Nate, the grip from the old show, but he moves to block their path, eyeing Josie with suspicion.
Who's this with you? Symmetrical features, bonded teeth, shorter in person.
He gasps, and every voice in the place speaks as one.
Actor! It's just bridge work, I swear.
What the hell, Kaplan? You know the code. You can't bring them down here without even the traditional offering.
Was I supposed to bring something? Because, I bake a little. Why didn't you tell me?
You said you dealt with techies before. You should know better. The symbols and gestures are important.
Josie chews on his words as they push deeper. The crowd is clustered around two parallel dolly tracks, but instead of cameras, two techies perch on the rigs as burly grips shove them toward one another. Using fluffy boom mics as lances, one tech knocks the other one from his mount. Wagered money changes hands amidst cheers and boos. Across the jousting ring, a director's table is set up with three imposing figures behind it, waited upon by their vassals. Derek steels himself, then steps purposely into the ring, Josie following, bewildered on his heels. With a roar, a man jumps to his feet, a wiry Viking strapped with Socapex and DMX cables, a massive, adjustable wrench on his belt.
Derek Kaplan, it has been too long, my friend. What brings you out of the land of the sun? Have you returned to take up your rightful place upon the catwalk?
The woman beside him leans forward, steepling her fingers under her chin. She is older, impeccably dressed in a knife-sharp pinstripe suit, not a single hair out of place.
Indeed. It has been too long since you have graced us, Lord Regent. And is there not an actor I see with you? Is their kind not more my department's purview than yours?
Derek sketches a bow to each member of the high table.
Sir Klieg, Lord of the Gridwalkers. Mistress Elena of the Satin Marches. Extraordinary circumstances have called me here this day. There is a new show. This woman is the rightful lead, and you all are called to serve.
The last person sitting at the high table brings his fist down like a hammer, an older man hard as teak and straight as rhubarb, every aspect of him exact to 1/64th of an inch.
You mean to unite the kingdoms? Under whose authority?
Derek draws out something and holds it above his head for all the techies to see.
Mine, General Hacksaw, sir, for I hold the studio mandate.
They gasp.
You have served well as acting TD, but you're only regent, not king.
I've carried the banner since the madness of Greg. Now, there's a new flagship setting sail.
You cannot mean.
I do. I call a convocation of the departments.
But no one has dared in many production cycles.
I dare. Representatives will convene on Soundstage 6 at sundown.
You, who were once my apprentice, seek to rule over me.
Why, boy, you have spirit. Conclave it is. It will be good to get back to work again.
Not without my challenge. You best be prepared to defend your claim.
Very well, then. Convocation has been invoked. We will ensure the departments arrive, and then we will see who bends the knee.
Scene 8. Negotiation. Interior, Priscilla's entryway. Day. Priscilla leads them through a sweeping foyer with black and white floor tiles and very large marble statues of classical nudes. The Pomeranian scampers around their ankles.
I'll have to excuse little rut gore. Visitors are an unaccustomed pleasure here at Chez de Marco.
I totally get it. What's the use of having a stately manse if you can't hide from the unwashed masses?
I'm washed. I'm in your house, and I'm washed. Just like in my dream.
I see. May I take it then that you are acquainted with my work?
Oh yeah, mega acquainted.
I stapled a plaid napkin around a Ken doll to make a Duncan.
How resourceful. And what of you, Mr. Dresden? May I count you amongst my admirers?
I'm a little new to romance, truth be told.
I never would have guessed. I'd thought you were a natural.
Ryan twitches as they follow Priscilla through the house. Interior, drawing room, day. The four of them sit on poofy pastel furniture straight out of a hotel from the 1980s. Priscilla takes a crystal flute from a tray of fizzy drinks and offers it to Ryan.
May I offer you some refreshment? Lawrence made spritzers. They're invigorating.
Ah, shoot. Been drinking those all day.
It's noon.
Early lunch. Anyway, Shall we get down to business?
I made Duncan's beard with gold Sharpie.
We just want you to know that you'd be entrusting your work to people with the utmost respect for it.
Yes. That's reassuring. Based on the licensing fee you offered, my attorneys weren't certain.
Yes, well, we're a small network, but we believe the system of back-end points we proposed will capitalize on the show's success.
Well then, aren't you clever? I'm very interested in the back end.
She smolders at him. He stiffens and tries to shake the Pomeranian from where it has begun nibbling on his pant leg.
No, not really. I pay people.
In truth, however, my area of greatest concern is more creative.
Changing mediums, of course, requires adaptation. Like Ryan here was going to explain. Weren't you, Ryan?
Yeah. I think you've made that clear.
Ryan bangs against the table as he yanks his leg away from the dog. Priscilla stills the glasses with a hand.
I meant rather that I would hope that my work will be adapted by someone with compatible vision.
Oh, we will work very hard to understand what you're doing here with...
Like in book 3, when that mill worker overheard Mr. Wellwood's nefarious plan, that was secretly one of the Scarlet Spring-Heel's clever disguises, wasn't it?
Meredith?
It's research. I'm doing research.
My, you've paid quite close attention.
I knew it. Research.
But I would hope that the tone of the story would be maintained. It doesn't need to be some post-ironic Dadaist farce just because everything's a joke to the youth these days.
Oh, you don't have to worry about that. I want straight men to have sex with me, so I will definitely not try to be funny.
Very wise.
Trust me, Ms. DeMarco, we're going to honor your work. Come on, Ryan. Back me up here.
Like Admiral Garrison backed up Kieran at his wrongful murder trial in book 4.
You know, Mr. Dresden, you remind me of the Admiral. He was also a distinguished personage who had a commanding air with the fair sex. Lady Gwendolyn permitted him to chase her until she caught him.
Personally, I always thought Lady Gwendolyn and Miss Holloway had a lot of chemistry. At least they did in my fanfics.
And Lady Gwendolyn is a precocious teenager.
Precocious at heart, perhaps.
Priscilla lays the tips of her fingers on Ryan's forearm, at which point he shoots awkwardly out of his chair. Backstrub be damned.
All right, then. I think that covers it.
Wait, what?
We'll just leave the contract here. You can sign it at your leisure and have your lawyers send it over.
He slaps down the paper, grabs a hold of Leah, and starts dragging her toward the door. With her spindly hills, she doesn't stand a chance.
Ryan!
Thank you for your hospitality. You have a lovely home.
Priscilla stands, watching them in confusion. Meredith starts to follow, but can't help but run back.
It's been so great to meet you. My fixed name is The Vellum of Our Body's Poetry, and it's 80,000 words.
Meredith!
You could read it if you wanted. I don't mind. Okay, love you. Bye.
She scampers away. Rutagor yaps his fluffy little head off. Exterior, Priscilla's courtyard, day. Once outside, Ryan releases Leah, and she stumbles to a halt.
What the hell was that?
But he's already booking it unsteadily back towards his Mercedes.
Did the best we could. It's in God's hands now.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know what to tell you, soldier. Sometimes the commander's gotta call a retreat.
Meredith comes up sheepishly beside Leah as Ryan squeals out of there in the car.
What's his problem?
Oh, save it, you slobbering Stan.
I'm sorry. I looked into the sun and I was blinded.
Scene 9, duty. Interior Pamplemousse Kitchenette, evening. As the hour of the tech convocation draws near, Derek prepares for the challenges ahead in the small kitchen off of the soundstage. Jeremy is there, helping him gear up as a squire assists a knight. Josie frets nervously nearby.
I don't understand. You're the studio's choice, and you've been acting TD for over a year. They have to know that you've got the skills.
It's not just merit, and it's not just authority. I've got to make them want to follow me.
Isn't there something I can do? It's supposed to be my show, for God's sake. Can't I just tell them you're in charge?
You think they'll respect someone who has an actor telling them what's what? We can't go in there and kick people's heads in. I've got to earn their loyalty.
Jeremy helps Derek step into a neon orange safety harness.
And how are you going to do that?
I'm not sure. General Hacksaw is not going to back down unless I best him, so I can't turn down his challenge, but he's been sinking studs since before I was born. And if I lose in front of everyone, I might as well have never stepped up.
Jeremy helps Derek strap on his tool belt.
When the old TD lost it, I did my best to fill the gap and keep the tribes from tearing themselves apart, but I just wanted to show up and do the work, not deal with politics. God knows it did a number on the last guy. They're still scrubbing off the dove blood.
Jeremy presents Derek with his hard hat. Derek regards it.
How'd you handle it then?
Turns out, people are a hell of a lot easier to wrangle when you can tell them you'll have to answer to the crazy guy.
You did that?
No. Anyway, that's not an option now. If I want to be in charge, I'm going to have to find a way to do it on my own.
Derek takes a box cutter from his belt, tossing and catching it in his hand. Jeremy startles at this and disarms Derek while flipping him onto the floor in one fluid motion. Looks up at him in shock.
What the hell?
Sorry, dude. Get a lot of weird habits in lockup.
Derek heaves a sigh and lets Jeremy help him up. Josie's panic grows.
Scene 10, Passage. Interior Ryan's office, evening. Ryan pushes through the double doors, two small skinny suit disassembled, scrubbing the bronzer off his face with a towel. Once inside, he stopped short by a blast in the face of carbonated water.
Jesus!
Oh, good. That is you under all that orange crap.
Ryan wipes his eyes clear to glare at Leah as she levels the seltzer bottle again, ready with more where that came from.
Stand down! I get it! I screwed up!
That seems like the opposite of a reason to stand down.
You don't understand.
You kidding? I'm a woman in showbiz. You think I don't recognize the icy grip of encroaching mortality?
Ryan eases down into the suede Chanel couch and folds his hands behind his head.
Look, there's a lot going on.
Oh, well. Your back hurts and you can't bag chicks half your age and twice your skin elasticity anymore.
First of all, you greatly underestimate my bedroom eyes and skincare routine. Secondly, this is a youth-oriented industry. I'm already hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, that was the problem with all the heroin, but it isn't good for wrinkles.
You think this is just vanity? That's rich, coming from someone who beat up a set photographer because he caught her wearing glasses.
Hey. I've accepted I'm a crone. At this point, I'm just trying to keep the building up to code.
Wow! You truly are the Patty Hearst of the patriarchy.
You think Patty Hearst wouldn't kill to keep these abs? As soon as my points vest, I'm having Dr. Zismore build me up from the ground up. Do you think I'd look better with Michelle Pfeiffer's nose?
Of course, everybody would. But I'm not worried about looking old. Just being old.
The thing I don't get is, why is it just bothering you now? What are you, 50? Even for a man, you've been over the Hollywood Hill for a while now.
Because I didn't even know what was happening.
Leah stares.
I was checked out for a long time. And when I finally checked back in, nothing was where I left it. What's relevant, what's cool, my whole life. And my kids, well, suffice it to say, all of a sudden, they're not kids anymore.
He trails off, but Leah's gaze wavers. She's called him Dad, but never really thought about what that meant.
I don't know what to do now that everything's different.
I guess. You'll just have to be different too.
He growls.
Change is scary, Ryan, but that's life. First rule of narrative, everything has to change. The only alternative is death.
I could always just die.
Which is really just the ultimate change.
Ryan heaves a sigh and scrubs his hands over his forehead.
I might have really blown this one. Priscilla DeMarco must hate my guts.
So you're just going to have to win her back over.
How am I supposed to come back from that?
we're going to have to bring out the big guns. Fortunately, I got the right hookup for the right gear.
She whips out her cell phone and makes a call.
Hey, Elena, it's me. I'm going to need the full Admiral Wellington. Yep, tall boots, military cincher, the works. What are you, 44 regular?
42, I'll have you know. What are you going to do about
Get me
that?
the 40. I want him laced in real tight.
Scene 11. Admiral. Interior, Pamplemousse Studios. Day. Like a surgical team in a trauma ward, the wardrobe crew hustles Ryan into their care.
Whoa, watch the hands.
You must have the courage, Buttercup. Now, let the professionals work.
They shove him behind a dressing screen, pulling off clothes and rushing in costume pieces in their place. He is at their mercy as they strap him into a cincher, do up rows of brass buttons, and grease his hair into a queue.
Now, the pièce de résistance.
With an impeccable knot, Mistress Elena ties him into a starched white cravat, worthy of Beau Brummel. Ryan assesses himself in the mirror, trim and polished in a complete Regency-era naval commander's uniform.
Wow, that is quite a V-shape. My back even feels better. I see why the ladies prefer this to breathing. Leah, what are you
He
trying to...
turns to her and is surprised to see her leaning in the doorway, biting her own knuckles.
Goddamn.
This is working for you, isn't it?
I should have known we'd build a weapon too terrible to use.
Huh? What's that? At my age, you get a little hard of hearing.
That's enough out of you, old man. Tell Jeremy to bring the car around. You've got a port to storm.
Scene 12. Tribes. Interior Pamplemousse Soundstage. Evening. As the clock strikes 6, the departments converge. From the fly system descend the lighting techs, their lamp and wrench bandoliers rattling. Led by Sir Klieg, they rappel fearlessly down from the ceiling in their harnesses. The sound acolytes of the Church of the Melodious Noise roll in the vibe curator, Father Groove on a creeper board. Beads swinging from his beard, he holds a mic stand staff and wears a huge pair of audiophile headphones in the shape of a mitre.
Oh man, this is not serene.
A smoke bomb of color and glitter goes off, and the costume and makeup crew appears in a riotous mass of fabric and paint. Mistress Elena leads them, a stark contrast in her perfect pinstripe suit.
So far, so good.
Where's the camera crew?
Derek points, and Josie's eye follows to a small fleet of drones, eyes in the sky buzzing in quietly over the proceedings. They orbit a motorized monitor with a woman's face, Lady Lenz, dressed like a Decker in a cyberpunk dystopia.
My guild's going on a raid tonight. I ain't going AFK to go to work.
They turn at the sound of wheezing breath. The crowd parts to admit the Collector, a twisted, golem-like form, hooded in layers with bulging pockets, clinging to a one-eyed baby doll. It raises the doll to its lips to stage whisper in its ear.
She's here, precious.
Finally, with a loud bang and rattle, the large shop door at the back of the soundstage rolls up. Floodlights blast into the space to silhouette General Hacksaw and his regiment of carpenters, marching in perfect lockstep. All eyes follow Hacksaw's as they fall on Derek expectantly.
I have called this convocation of the departments to announce a new show and studio mandate, and to assume the role of technical director, as is my right by tradition and law.
Scene 13. Port. Interior, Ryan's car. Day. Jeremy pulls up on the drive in front of Priscilla DeMarco's house. Ryan and Leah peer at it from the back seat.
You think I can pull this off?
You're kidding. You're Ryan Dresden.
You could pull this off naked, stoned, and with both hands cuffed behind your back. And from what I heard, you have.
Yeah. No way she's a tougher nut than a cop.
He nods at her and exits the vehicle.
Godspeed, Commander.
Now it's just Leah and Jeremy alone in the car. He grips the steering wheel, eyes straight ahead. Leah leans back and hikes one leg over the back of the front passenger seat.
So, you still don't want to say what you did time for, huh? Cool. I'll guess.
Interior, Priscilla's foyer, day. Priscilla's dog Vertigor is set off yapping at the chime of the doorbell. Priscilla herself appears to answer it, revealing Ryan leaning insouciantly in the doorway. She takes him in his uniform.
Why, Mr. Dresden, you're back, and look at you.
Ms. DeMarco, you know as well as I do, we have unfinished business.
He sweeps into the foyer past her.
Yes, well, I'd like to come to an agreement, but I'm not sure what it is left to discuss.
Oh, on the contrary. If we're going to be bringing your work to life, our arrangement needs to be agreeable to all parties. I can't do that without your input.
Ryan turns, heels snapping together with military sharpness.
I'm particularly interested in your vision for the Admiral.
Priscilla seats herself upon the pink settee.
Well, I do have some ideas. Scene 14, Oaths. Interior, Pamplemousse Soundstage evening. It's at this point Meredith wanders into the studio, eyes wide at the delegation of techs. Josie grabs hold of her.
Oh my God, you're back.
What have you heard? I didn't ruin anything. Ryan was way worse.
What? No, that doesn't matter right now. Meredith, the techies are fighting Derek on his right to run the crew. We have to help him, but I don't know how.
Derek defends his claim before the packed soundstage.
I guided us out of the great grid overload of 09.
So many broken bulbs.
Is that why they're all here? Wow, there hasn't been a convocation since they needed to sacrifice somebody to the reality division.
You know about this?
I presided as Solomon over the eternal struggle. Is it a prop, or is it a costume?
Pocket watch is worn, not handled, precious.
Exposition, you goblin!
I've heard the legends. Like an off-comer when Katrina had to convince the Highland clans to band together to repel the English.
She did? How did she do it?
Oh no. I already made one mess today by fangirling out.
By these conquests and more, I claim my right.
You mean my right, you pretender.
Meredith, I'm supposed to play this person, and I'm never going to get the chance without the crew. Now, please, tell me what she would have done.
General Hacksaw steps into the ring with Derek, hammer in hand, as Meredith and Josie rush whispering out of the room.
You know my work. I was set crew for years.
Until you abandoned us for the Lightsmen.
I went where I was needed.
Your allegiance is shifted with the wind. How can we trust you to represent us to the studio when you don't even know when to stand with your own people?
I'm standing now.
Too little, too late. I call upon the council to witness me. I challenge Derek Kaplan to the test of skills for the director's crown. 16-stepped hardwood staircase, first to middle wins. My crew versus yours.
A gasp ripples through the assembled crowd as Hacksaw's carpenters fall into formation behind him. Derek faces them down alone. He tips his hard hat low.
Tonight, we build in hell.
They turn to the stacks of 2x4s dragged forth on sleds. Derek breathes deep and hands hover over tool belts like gunslingers ready to draw. Father Groove plays hype-up music on a Casio. Mistress Elena produces a silk handkerchief and raises it to drop.
Coffee break!
Every head whips to see Josie, arms stacked with donut boxes, followed by Meredith, pulling a wagon full of coffee carafes. Cheerfully, they begin passing out pastries and warm cups to the stunned assembly. Josie has taken on the persona and accent of her off-comer character.
What's the meaning of the munchies?
Oh, Derek told me you were all working hard in here and asked me to bring refreshments. Least I could do, don't you think?
Oh, nobody told me there was going to be snacks.
Oh, don't worry. I thought of that.
Bitchin'!
But you are an actor, and not only an actor, but the lead.
Oh, yes. I'm Katrina in the new off-comer show. When Derek said you had a break coming up, he told me to make sure you're all taken care of.
Kaplan commands the chosen lead.
Anything for Derek?
She hands Derek a coffee in a real mug instead of paper, one that reads, "Techies do it in the dark."
Greg's mug that was.
The maiden brings him the grill.
He's the destined one. The TD is dead! All hail the TD!
Hacksaw draws his hammer and kneels before Derek.
You have my hammer.
And my needle.
And my lamp.
In a ripple outward, all of the tribes take a knee before their new king. Derek glances at Josie in gratitude. She smiles modestly, while Meredith quietly dimples over a donut.
Just like in Book 6.
Scene 15. Old. Interior Ryan's car. Legs still kicked up. Leah keeps on guessing.
Jewel thief.
No.
Drug mule.
No.
High-class escort.
Jesus!
Meth cook. Hired assassin. International card sharp.
If I say yes, will you stop asking?
The exchange is mercifully ended by Ryan, who bursts into the back seat and slams the door behind him.
Drive.
Oh, thank God.
Jeremy puts the car in gear.
Well, did you get the signature?
Ryan slams the paper down. Between them, the curly flourishes of Priscilla's handwriting upon it.
Good soldier.
Took some doing.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Hey, manners. Suffice it to say, this silver fox still hunts.
Silver dog, maybe.
Where to now, boss?
Where do you think? The grotto for champagne? Skippies for ice cream?
How about the drugstore for a bathtub's worth of icy hot?
Jesus Christ, drown me in it!
Ryan notices Leah grinning and adjusts his collar.
What?
You're old.
You'd still hit it.
Damn it.
Fade out.
You must have the courage, Buttercup.